Welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV drama series. Today's drama story is about a disturbing Lalafell story. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Time for the chaos. We have to have a disclaimer. This story is disturbing. I'm not trying to promote this in any way. It's more of just like, this is a story that to learn from. Like, don't get yourself involved in stuff like this, or like if this happens, like, it's reportable, so report them. Okay, that's a disclaimer. Learn from this story and that's it. Cautionary tale. Okay, you're about to see why. I'll tell you about the time when I started exploring the roleplay scene of Final Fantasy XIV. I was unaware of mods or how people do all kinds of things in the game, but when my FC leader told me about it, curiosity took the best of me. I sound and look very young in real life. That is the reason why choosing a Lalafell made sense for me. Also, the reason why my rank in my FC was jailbait. Already I'm like, what? I'd be a little concerned about that joke, because if someone wrote that joke on me and I was a Lalafell and people were coming into the FC, they literally might think I'm a pedo by having jailbait or something as my FC rank. So that could get you like going into this weird territory of jokes like that, and I wouldn't like that. Not even a minute in, we're right in there already with the FC rank giving him a title, jailbait on a Lalafell. Yeah, people in my FC had that kind of sense of humor, but it was never more than that. The other Lala guy in my FC used his free Fantasia to become a cat boy. We'll call him Jason from now on. One night, he told me he regretted that decision as he planned to pull a prank on some old friends. So he asked me instead to participate in his plot. Okay, he was like, hey, I'm not a Lalafell anymore, but you are, so can I get you to do this thing for me? The plan was simple. Go to a venue that had a leather-themed party and see their reaction. I thought this was one of those places that forbid Lalafells to enter. Wearing something made of leather was required. Yeah, it's the theme. So I unlocked a Disciple of War job and crafted leather stuff. At the time, I only had White Mage unlocked and some crafting jobs. The choice was hideous. The hard leather stuff, it looked terrible, gross even, but there was a backup plan. Someone else from my FC jumped into the bandwagon and gifted me a glam from the Mog station. The men's striped Somerset. It looked a lot better than the atrocity I crafted earlier, but also more skimpy. We all laughed like evil maniacs. They're gonna freak out so much, said the girl who gifted me the glam, her character wringing her hands. We were in voice call, so we made a party of 6 and went to the place. I expected a bouncer at the entrance to not let me in, and my friends saying, where he goes, we go. We know the owner. I was laughing hysterically at the thought of this, but that scene in my head couldn't be farther from reality. Nobody was against my presence there. I was welcomed inside and received a free drink. I mean, I feel like that's, yeah, a Lalafell is welcomed into a bar or a club, right? And even if the theme is leather theme, they would accept Lalas coming in their leather outfits. I think that's perfectly fine. I asked if they had anything with pineapple and they gave me a drink, which today is my favorite when going to any venue. Golden pineapple juice. The friend who bought me the Mog Station glam was a little disappointed. She wanted drama and she wasn't getting it. Not yet, ... But she loved the place. It was full of people. There were also a bunch of Lalas there too. I walked around for a bit and started to feel a little uncomfortable. Everyone was wearing skimpy stuff and acting horny. Oh my god. I changed my glam to the Lucian Prince outfit from Final Fantasy XV collab to feel more comfortable there. It was sort of leathery, so the staff approved of it. Later, they said wearing leather wasn't really mandatory, but only those wearing something made of leather would be included for the lottery, so I kept the Lucian set on. The dance floor was in the basement, and my friends and I went there to dance. On the side, there were some open booths with people literally making out, sitting in front of each other, doing the pucker up emote and grinding against one another. See those people there? Jason pointed at a gay couple. They're totally using mods. I play on PS5 and the scene still looked pretty sexual with no mods. There was a Rothgar with a literal BDSM outfit. What the fuck what the F are these outfits? Why does the game have these things? I thought at that moment. I had that Rothgar targeted and he noticed immediately, looking at me. Like what you see, little boy? He asked me in a tell. I freaked out, but then I thought it would be funny to go on with it and mess with this guy. I said that to my friends in voice call, and they casually kept dancing around in the basement while I read out loud what the guy was telling me. He started casually asking stuff about my character. I told him I don't have a backstory, that I pretty much am myself in the game. He asked my age, and I told him I turned 18 a couple of days ago. My friends then took control of the conversation, telling me what to say to him. This was the part that I regret. After a couple of minutes, my friends sensed something amiss and told me to stop talking with this Rothgar. Then he made a mistake that a lot of people have made at some point, me included. Instead of responding with /R, he forgot to put the /. So everyone in the venue read what he typed. I don't remember very well what he said, but I don't think it's safe for YouTube either. But it was a very long message that probably reached the character cap, and it was very sexual, using the words little, cute, and boy a lot, describing body parts and what he wanted to do with me. Oh no. Dude, he said it out loud to everyone. Do you imagine what the heck? Being there at that time, seeing that person say that. Oh my god. We bailed instantly and I blocked the guy. My friends apologized for putting me through all that. I didn't care much. I wasn't that attached to the game or had as much of myself invested in my character at that point. So what happened in the game back then didn't affect me as much as it does today. That guy just the hella looked really bad there and then, and everyone probably reported that Rothgar on the spot. Jesus. A couple of weeks later, there was an FC exodus to Final Fantasy XI, and I was left alone with just 2 other guys there. Later, the company was transferred to me. Jason logged in one day. He apologized again. I said it was fine, that the whole experience was more of a learning one for me. He also asked if I had gone to that place again. I said, no chance, I'm going back there. You wouldn't be able to anyway, he replied. Turns out the whole place closed down around a week after the leather party, and the owner was MIA. Probably transferred to another data center because their character didn't exist anymore. Was all that because of me? I asked. It wasn't the only reason, but one of them, Jason explained. There was a lot going on there. Very dark stuff. If anything, that little accident with you helped open the eyes of people a little bit. It all snowballed after that. ERP with Lalafell was the least shocking thing happening there. Fortunately, not many people knew about it, so most regulars who frequented the venue think the owner left for other reasons that were made public. Before leaving to play Final Fantasy XI, I logged in to warn you. If you want to keep doing that, going to those places, be careful. This is the last thing I'll do in Final Fantasy XIV. Take care of yourself. That was a little dramatic, but it was the Jason way of doing things. He usually talked as if he was narrating a thriller or a mystery novel. It sounded like, honestly, chat, it sounded like Jason was leaving Final Fantasy XIV. And he was like, sort of like, this is the last thing I'll do in the game. See you later. But warning, that's the kind of stuff you'll get into if you keep going down that path. Jason logged off after saying that, and his character was deleted not long after. I felt like he was running away too, because he was a friend of the owner of that place. I thought about the things my FC leader told me when he recruited me. I could hear his voice in my head saying, "There are things about the game you don't understand yet." Indeed, I was only learning about the hidden stuff that not many people talk about, things people can't accomplish in real life. You may not know about this, but Final Fantasy XIV is a game where people can do anything, and it's all thanks to the mods. This was the beginning of my time in the game, which I felt the most lonely. The things I was going through in real life kept me playing, escaping reality to just be the warrior of light. But I quickly ran out of things to do once I was caught up with the story. Endwalker would release almost a year later. I wasn't interested in other jobs besides White Mage at the time, so I turned to roleplay. As myself, living a second life to forget about the real one. The game was the only meaningful thing I had. I would visit some venues every day, some of them not allowing me to enter, the usual at the time. But one night, I stumbled upon a modest bar that was nearing its closing hours. There was still a bunch of people there, dancing and drinking, and a bard was playing Linkin Park music. I sat in front of the bar and looked around the place. It was gothic, with furniture very carefully placed to emulate ghostly effects. A Lalafell bartender approached me, and his name was Kito Kirito, mentioning his actual name because his character no longer exists. He gave me a head pat. That's how us taters greet one another, and told me that the bar was bought out for the night, so the drinks were free. He offered trade and handed over a drink, the golden pineapple juice. "How special," he said. "We call it Aurum Tears." "How did you know I like pineapple?" I asked, kind of role-playing. "I didn't," he said, "but believe me, these tears cheer people up, so I thought it would be good for you." I thought it was weird how he could tell the mood of someone in the game. "How come tears can cheer someone up?" I asked. "Tears are not only cried while being sad, they are also tears of joy," he said, with his eyes closed. I smiled at him and drank the Aurum Tears. Maybe it was the suggestive aspect of roleplay tricking my brain to make what was happening on the screen feel more real, but I did feel a little better. We talked for around 2 hours, and the conversation went just like with bartenders in movies. They hear you out, they give you some advice, and refill your glass. I visited this place every night after that because they were open daily. On weekends, it was full of people and a band of bards and dancers on the stage. I was having so much fun there that one day I decided to become a bartender myself in this place. On my first night, the owner gave me a uniform and some stacks of items from the menu, added me to a link shell, and gave me a role on the venue's Discord server that granted me access to the staff chats and voice channel. At first, everyone was cautious, reserved, and welcoming. But after some time, when people knew they could trust me, I got access to a couple new channels on Discord. Channels that enlightened me about what the word court means. Usually, the staff chat had a section for shifts and schedule, but also there was a chat for casual conversations. Most of the time, it was friendly chit-chat, sometimes rants and shitposts. The owner was the FC leader as well, and the venue was the FC house. Many of the people who worked there were part of the FC, and all of them had a specialized room for ERP. That's when I noticed that around 80% of the staff were courts. Dude, this is like a whole FC of courts, basically. They're all in on this ERP business. They were very serious about the business model they ran. They even had a human resources department, an HR agent with his own office. It was there when I was interviewed for the position of bartender. I thought it was very fun and immersive doing all that, and it was the kick in the pants I needed to take my life in the game more seriously. Do you want to take your life in the game more seriously? I don't know, man. I don't exactly roleplay. I am myself in the game. I only do stuff I would do in real life, but with a side of fantasy and heroism. In-game, I'm a lot more bold and brave, like I actually talked to people, unlike reality at the time. It didn't take long for the owner and her husband, married IRL, to be way too comfortable with me. They always pointed out how cute and soothing my voice was and how well it fit my character. They began to treat me like a kid, calling me kiddo, little one, or buddy. The other members of the staff started doing the same. I became the venue's pet, everyone's little brother, because I was literally the youngest by far. I must say that I liked it, but then they twisted it. This didn't happen suddenly, but throughout the course of a month, and I never really noticed it until Kito mentioned it to me one night. He was the one I talked to the most, and he soon became my best friend in the game. We ain't even there yet, chat. This ain't even the bad stuff yet. Soon. Kaylee, the owner of the venue, approached me one night. Have you ever tried ERP? She asked in tells. What does that mean? I asked. Erotic roleplay. Oh, well, kind of. But it wasn't very erotic. It was mostly cuddles and smooches and in Minecraft. She laughed like a maniac. She was a cat girl, and she had that one voice with a terrifying laugh. Ah, we all know what cat girl laugh that is. I fumed and jokingly told her to leave me alone, a scoff on my face. What if you step it up a bit? She doted at me. Wait, what? No, you're married. Even if it's in-game, I can't do that. Oh, silly boy. You think Martin is the only one that I do it with? She smirked. True, we're married, but we trust each other and we have freedom of doing anything. If he wants to mess around with other girls or even guys, I wouldn't protest. Actually, I would like to see it. And the same goes for me too. Later that night, Martin told me it would be fine and gave me some tips on how to do it. Like, this is so awkward. Like, Martin's like, yeah, my girl will show you a good time. Here are some tips, my dude. This is awkward. Immediately after this little conversation, the rest of the staff chat on Discord opened to me, and I joined the VC. They talked about ERP, courts, and some of them showed me their private chambers within the FC house. I saw incredible personalized rooms with impossible furniture arrangements. Most of them looked like luxury hotel rooms, and each one had a specific theme. Some of them a bit too extreme for my taste. Then they talked about mods. I said I play on PS5, so that's a no for me. We can fix that, Martin said. I can get you the game for PC. My PC is utter dog water though, but thanks for the offer. I didn't lie. I actually checked some time before with an alt character on a free trial, and it ran awfully. Even at the lowest settings, I barely got 10 FPS, so with mods installed, it would be absolutely unplayable. I felt better for not resorting to lying, because I genuinely didn't want to mod the game, and this was the perfect excuse to reject that offer. Well, Martin added, use your imagination. Most of our clients do that. Their characters are just lying down next to ours, using just text. Many times I had seen some of the courts sending erotic messages in the link shell by mistake, so I knew some words they used and how to set a vibe. Oh, dude, like, Just seeing that, being in the link shell and seeing people's ERP like getting accidentally sent in the link shell is so strange. I hesitated, but it would just be us lying down and using text, so it should be fine. Or so I thought. Kiddo wasn't around at the time. This will matter later. We got into a room and Kaylee asked me some questions. Are you really 18? She asked. Again with this? I was actually annoyed. I told y'all, I just sound young. Oh, it's okay, honey, she said, doing a dance while taking off her gear. Oh. I was still wearing the Moonfire shirt and shorts. It's fine if you're not. You can be honest with me, she said. They honestly think he's a minor? She kept doing that and then suddenly stopped doing anything for a couple minutes. I was planning to get out of there and had started to approach the room's exit when I received a Discord message. It was Kaylee, sending a picture of her character and mine, modded. I hated how mine looked. No freckles and no dark nose and a massive bulge on my shorts. No, I don't like this. This is going to the bad stuff already. But this wasn't what shocked me. It was her character that looked nothing like how I saw her in game. She looked like Chloe Alia Poe, the journal girl from Idleshire, just a bit taller and wearing nothing at all. Chloe is that little girl! This is so bad, so bad, so bad. What the actual fuck, woman? I yelled, literally using the yell chat. Oh, come on. It's more suitable for you that way. You'd feel more comfortable with a character around your age, she said. I am not a kid, I responded. I was furious, freaking out. I never agreed to that. After some arguing, she asked me to get into a call and settle this properly. Oh, he should have taken screenshots and sent that as like report. I cooled off and accepted. Don't want me to tell anyone in the FC, I assume? I asked, taunting her. Everyone knows what's going to happen, she calmly responded. What? It's not that big of a deal. This is Final Fantasy. It's just that. Fantasy. You would be surprised the amount of people we've shown these things, and they're okay with it. Like who? I exclaimed. She began to mention names, and I was asking to myself, she is okay with this? Him too? And so on? I'm sorry I assumed you were younger. Let me compensate for this whole ordeal. Her voice had a different tone now. There was some music in the background too. Compensate? How? I asked, confused, but somehow not mad at her anymore. Something from the Mog station, maybe? Wait, are you buying my silence or something? I don't mind if you talk about this with Martin or other people in the FC. Just don't mention it to anyone outside of it, she replied. Ah, sure, okay, I said. Am I being brainwashed? She chuckled and left the call. I went to bed after that. That is weird. So weird. So she wanted to buy him something after that. The next night was Saturday, and we had a tribal-themed glam contest. So everyone, including the staff, dressed as one of the tribes. All the Lalafell chose either dwarf or Namazu that night, but I went with Moogle, wearing a Moogle palm that Kaylee got me from the cash shop. Oh my god, he accepted the gift! Because he's wearing the Moogle outfit. I would have been like, hell no, bye! Get out of there. What you should... Oh, hell no, report, bye. There. She gave me several other things as well. I talked to the other members of the staff and FC, the ones that Kaylee mentioned. Indeed, they were okay with that stuff. Some of them performed as the Scions, including Reen and the Levelier twins. I was in awe. I thought people would witch hunt anyone doing these things, especially Lalafells. but with in-game child models? Okay, OP, that's because you found a group of people who are all like each other and are okay with that, and you gotta get the hell out of there. Keto finally logged in, and I told him about what happened. He was furious. I told you they would use honeyed words, treat you like a little brother, and mold you to get you into their twisted activities, he said. You never said that, I replied. I told you they had other intentions for you, and they chose the night in which I wasn't available to log in to stop them. What? Get on voice chat now. I did as he said, and all kinds of hell broke into the call. Everyone was yelling at Keto, and he yelled even louder. Okay, sounds like everyone's in the voice call, like people from the FC, maybe the FC leaders, Keto and OP. He is an actual adult, Martin said. Let him make his own decisions. Okay then, Keto said, looking at my character. Choose. I'll leave. All of you sicken me anyway. And you all decided to do this when I wasn't here to prevent it? Think you're better than us? Kaylee screeched, forcing a laugh. I don't. I'm as rotten as all of you are, but I would never drag anyone into this, especially if there's a chance of them being a minor. Keto left the call, the server, and the link shell, never to go back to that place. Kaylee gave me more stuff and offered more in the future just for me to stay there, but I couldn't, and left and blocked everyone and thought about everything that happened. I didn't have the evidence anymore, as Kaylee asked me to delete the video I took in game while in call. She made me show her the process of deleting it. I'm still mad at myself for doing that. Keto was the only real friend I made there, and so I looked for him. I never found him online, however, and he never answered on Discord. While in another venue, I met a small Lalafell group. I was venue hopping with them, and they then used Fantasias to change to other races. Why had they changed? Because as Lalafell, they couldn't do the things they wanted to do. Snuff videos. Huh? I'm confused. What are snuff videos? Don't look it up. Okay, I won't. It's an extremely intense and disturbed fetish. Uh-oh. Let's move on for real. Okay. All of this was revealed by Keto, who one day found me hanging out with them. On that day, he sent me a party invite and talked to me. All right, so Keto logged in and he's back and talking to OP again. So you still intend to go down this route? He asked. What are you talking about? I was confused. Your new friends. Don't tell me you don't know what they do. I don't, I replied. What do they do? I'll leave the party. Go to this world, this residential district, this plot on this ward. I'm not mentioning this place to prevent curious people from potentially joining and making that community bigger. If anything, I would prefer people to avoid them. I went to the place Keto mentioned, a free company mansion. The door was closed and there was one of the FC members waiting outside. That was Keto's alt character. He opened the door for me and let me in. The house had many chambers. Some of them were closed, but the ones that were opened were incredibly unsettling. Sex dungeons, torture chambers, and seizure-inducing rooms with glitched, overlapping furniture and lights. One of them gave me a real headache. Why would anyone make something like that? I asked. I'm actually dizzy. This is what some people like to make. Have you not noticed the FC tag on your friends? No. They always hang out in my world usually, so I just see their tag as wanderers. Well, some of them are part of this FC. Look, their names are on these rooms. In fact, a couple that had used Fantasia to turn into auras were in the list. One had a torture chamber, while the other had a glitchy room. They took someone with epilepsy in there and laughed at them, listening to them struggle in the voice call, Keto said. So freaking mean, man. They're bullies. I don't believe you, I protested. How would they know a person had epilepsy? Asking questions, he answered. You can believe me or not. That's for you to decide. Now let me ask you a question. Do you want to be part of this? Will you surrender to curiosity and join? I said before, I'm as rotten as Kaylee, Martin, and their friends. Is this what you really want? No, I left them behind. I didn't know my new friends were doing this. That's the reason why they used Fantasia? I asked, trembling. Yes, this FC doesn't like Lalafells, and they wanted you here to satiate their twisted cravings. Listen to me. There are far more obscure things people do here. I created keto because I wanted to be a normal player for a bit, but I can't change what I am not now. This can't be real. You're messing with me. I typed in the party chat. I was in disbelief. I have developed some of the mods people use here. I used to be in Second Life, but making things for this game is a lot easier, and people are more willing to pay for these mods as well. Do you want to see it? I was shaking. I don't believe you. Prove what you're saying is true. Mistake. He called me on Discord and shared his screen. His character looked like he had changed into a carpenter, but on my end, I still saw him as an archer. He was holding a saw. The motion made it look like he was holding something on a table end while cutting it. His expression was like slash sneer, but a lot more sinister. The animation continued. The character moved as if the thing that was holding and cutting was finally off. He raised his free hand, looking as if holding something, mouth open, making a drinking motion. This is an animation of beheading someone, he said in the call, and stopped sharing his screen. I then imagined what it would look like if someone was on the table in front of him. I gagged. This is what your new friends like. This is what I like, he said with a calm, ominous voice. I never wanted this for you, but your stupid curiosity led you here. Is this what you want? If the answer is no, you will never see me again. Keto, I mumbled. That's not my name here. Neither is it this character's name, he said. Give me your answer once more. Is this what you want? I was about to lose my dear friend, but one that does things I could never be okay with. No, I replied. He logged in with Keto Kirito and gave me a hug. That was the last time I saw that name, and then on my friends list, it became unable to retrieve after that. Yeah, this is super like, what the heck, and weird, and like, I didn't even know what the hell I was reading when I read this. I was like, what? This is something that happens and the people are doing this? Like, what the F? Like, I was thinking, I wish I didn't know that. I don't want that in the game that I play, right? So that's why I was like, should I even read this? That now you guys are understanding, like, when I was reading this, I was like, I don't know if I should read it. Yeah, it's freaking creepy, disturbing vibes, right? But yeah, report. And then like the weirdest thing, okay, well, we can talk about it later at the end. So Keto became, on his friends list, became unable to retrieve after that. Months have passed. I now have new friends, people who helped me get out of the dark void I was falling into because of the things that happened to me in real life, and also the horrifying stuff I was made aware of in the game. I visited my old workplace one day. Kaylee and Martin are nowhere to be found, and neither are any of the staff members I met. Kaylee and Martin's characters still exist, but haven't logged in a very long time, according to a new staff member of the venue. It never has more than 10 people now, and a lot of the rooms in the FC are currently empty. The game is still a very meaningful thing for me, but not the only one I have in my life now. The Endwalker story made me understand that there can't be joy without struggle. I no longer run away from pain, and I choose to face hardships as learning experiences. I'm still afraid of dealing with people, but I'm working on that for my own sake, my friends in the game, and everyone who cares about me in real life. One can never be sure when horrible things might happen, not even in a game. To everyone listening to this story, choose your friends wisely. Never let them change your ideals or beliefs. Never let them gaslight you with words like, I showed this to so-and-so and they're okay with it. Surround yourself with people that will help you be better, feel better, and help them too. Don't let people that would bring you down and use you come into your life. The end. That is the disturbing Lalafell story. Yeah, like I said earlier, it's like I just wish I didn't know that about the game. Yeah, it sounded like the groups of people he met were just like bullies, and they were trying to get like newcomers one by one and like tease them and show them these disturbing things, and it was weird. People pay for those I don't know, but sounds like that guy was making money. Keto, right? Keto, the guy who made stuff for Second Life and is now making stuff for this game. I wanted to say Keto gave me a very strange vibe. Like, I didn't really know what his purpose was. I guess he became friends with the OP, but it's like, are you the guardian angel or are you the devil on the shoulder? Like, I was confused. I don't really know, because he was like, I don't want you to go down this path, but I'm also fucked up. Like, it was so weird. Like, Keto is sus. I think Keto just thought of himself as like a hero or a main character kind of guy. Like, that's the vibe I get. Clearly the guardian devil. Keto was the scariest one in the story. I think all of them were scary. Even OP scared me in some points. It's like, get your ass out of there. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't accept gifts from this crazy girl who just turned her character into Chloe and gave you a bulge on your Lalafell. Huh? If you hear this and you're just like, yep, that's disturbing, report. And then like all the evidence was lost also, right? Which was like, what? I need a hug after listening to that. I know. I feel the same. I still remember after reading it that one day I was like, I don't know what to do. And so I also talked to my ghost editor and I said, what are your thoughts on this? Like, thank God I have someone to bounce ideas with, because sometimes it is hard to just figure out what to do on your own, you know? They basically told me this doesn't seem like a story you would read at all. And I was like, right? Like, it's like part of me does, but part of me doesn't. So I was very torn. I was very torn with it. And I think you guys can see now why I was very torn with it. I think usually when it comes to sharing drama stories, my goal is I don't want to make anyone who plays this game feel bad, right? I want everyone to love this game and love it even more. Can you bring the OP to the voice chat? Do you think OP would want to... All right, I could ask. I just sent them a message, want to get on call. What kind of questions do you have for them? Chat's like, we need an interview. Maybe they don't want to. Oh my God, you know what? I kind of want to hear this voice that they described about themselves. Why do people think they're younger than 18? Oh my God, they were like, and then they like spammed a bunch of letters, like, and they're like, okay, I'll go on call. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this Final Fantasy XIV drama story. If you have any of your own drama stories that you'd like me to share and read out anonymously, feel free to reach out to my Discord, discord.gg/Pathra.